The FCS College Football Experience Week 6 preview and picks episode of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to get 50% off, 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Yes, jump on over there. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football in the National Football League with Rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the FCS College Football Experience Week 6 preview picks, all that good fun. As currently we have New Hampshire and Harvard doing business here. So we got a big 3rd and 7 for New Hampshire available on ESPN Plus. Get over there. I know this is. The lines were dropping late. I made the slides about 2 hours ago. Had to do some TV spots, but I see some of these lines have moved. We're going to get into it in a second, but that's just betting the FCS. You don't get a shit ton of action, so these lines do move a lot there as New Hampshire completes the 3rd down and gets a 1st down there. As the Wildcats are somewhat in scoring position here with the big 1st down there. ESPN Plus, jump on over there and catch some good old FCS action. But yeah, it's Friday night. Well, at least on the West, it's Friday at 4 p.m. Getting this thing out as fast as we can to you. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh, let's go. All right, we got some big time matchups. Top 25 matchups mixed with old school rivalry games. It's going to be fantastic. Now, I am going to Arizona to catch the Arizona State game, so I'm not going to be able to watch as much as normal. But you better believe when I get back to LA Sunday that I would be diving into my FCS Sundays because just like Hunter Chitwood says in the chat, the FCS is better than the NFL by far. Not even in the same ballpark with their silly ass kickoff and Roger Goodell and all their cockamamie rules you can't do. There's a hip drop. There's just all this bullshit. Way better. Do an FCS Sunday. You'll appreciate it. Shout out to the whole chat though. I see youtube.com/the college experience. Jump on over there. We got Portland State Vikings fans in the house saying he's going to the first home game. Team whooping cough. Yes, let's go. And King Wells in there saying, been waiting for this all day. Virgil's saying he needs an FCS parlay. Let's go. Let's get to that action because, I just feel like I got another TV spot in about an hour. Cramming this in. Let's go. And let me see if I can fix this and show my stupid face. Let's do a little bit of that. All right, let's do a little bit of that as we got New Hampshire and Harvard going on right now. You can't bet that, so I'm gonna punt on that. But that game's on right now. You should be watching it because it's a very good football game. I'm excited about the slate. I wish, if anyone from the FCS is listening, I just wish they would do a little more weekday games, just a little bit more to help us out in the world. But, I've been only saying that for about 25 years. I'm glad to see they've been listening. Anyway, let's jump into Saturday's slate because the Bright Bulldogs are taking on the Brown Bears, the magical Brown Bears 2-0. First place in the Ivy. What a game last week. Jake Wilcox having a good season. The vet, I think he's not completing the most. Like I think he's at like 54% completing his passes, but 5 touchdowns, I believe, 1 interception. So that's where you're winning them over. Their run game has been non-existent. Their pass game though has been pretty good, but at the same time, if you were to tell me, Dundee, what is the most disappointing FCS teams to you thus far? I would high on my in the top 5 would be the Bryant Bulldogs. I liked them getting Jared Guest, the quarterback from Coastal Carolina. I thought it was going to all work out there. I looked at their receivers of Landon Regari. I thought, okay, he's a stud. And the running back of Fabrice Mukunde, I thought, hey, this is going to be a really good offense, despite some of the hits they had, losing Zevi Eckhouse to Washington State and everything. And I thought they'll still be good. Well, it hasn't been the case. Bryant's 1-3. They haven't looked good, but man, Browns lay at 7 and this says 10. That's what I'm saying. I made the graphics a few hours ago, and then the actual lines opened up. So if you're wondering why these lines are so off, let me walk you through this. We know the odds makers at SGPN. When we were with previous companies and current companies that we know a few different ones. They give me kind of inside information on what the lines will be. So I know what the lines will be when they open. But once they open, just like kind of like obscure college basketball, these lines will jump like a goddamn grasshopper. So bear with me here on the graphics there. I'm seeing it right now as Brown -7, and I 10 is even better if you could find that out there. Like I said, some books might have a larger number. You can catch great variance within the FCS, but I think it's too many points for Brown. Brown got very fortunate a week ago, and I think Bryant can stay within that number. I think Bryant, for whatever reason, has been terrible this year. Haven't been able to figure it out, but I think Brown is their 2-0 record's kind of lying to you. So I think you load up on the Bulldogs in the points in this matchup there. It's kind of a rivalry game there. And look, I believe they played a year ago. Brown won 29-25. Now, sure, that was a lot better of a Bryant team and a lot worse of a Brown team from a record standpoint right now, but I still think you're okay taking the points and the Bryant Bulldogs. 6.5 on FanDuel. That's what I'm saying. You're going to if you have multiple books, I'd open up 4 different windows and just boom, boom, boom. Look at that, spray the board. But you can find a great variance in this sport. Folks, I want to tell you about the rest of the games, but I also want to tell you that, look, I'm going to get to a game in a little bit here. I believe it's Wofford at Western Carolina, in Cullowhee, North Carolina, and they're doing that game with no fans. Because Western North Carolina has been obliterated by Hurricane Helene, and we here in the office, not only do we know a lot of good people in Western North Carolina, but we've been there. I got married in Boone, North Carolina, or outside of Boone in Beach Mountain, North Carolina, and once we saw how bad the devastation was over there, we reached out to some friends and. To try to the thing is you're always looking for some type of charity, but you never know how much money is going to be going there to whether it's Red Cross, whether it's whatever. Like you're like, damn, are we actually going to be able to see? So we hit up some people that we knew, and SGPN is teaming up with a local charity there, mountainprojects.org. You can trust it's reliable to help give back. And check this out. The biggest donation will get a guest spot on the College Football Pick Show and a ton of SGPN gear. So please, if you can, folks, I can't tell you how many times over the years, I love my job if you can't tell. I'm talking about Bryant Bulldog football for free, by the way. And I love my job. I love comedy and sports. And the fact I can do both at the same time it's like heaven. You know what I mean? But at the same time, a lot of people have hit me up over the years and said, Dundee, I'd love to buy you a beer if you're ever in Amherst, Massachusetts, if you're ever in Daytona, Florida, wherever. I always get that. And I appreciate those DMs because it tells me that I guess I'm doing something right. Well, I would say this. Can I trade that in? Can I trade in any of those for you to donate whatever you have? All right. Like, I understand where we're asking for the biggest donation will be on the pick show, but still, if you just got $5, get on over there, donate that. You're going to help out these people's lives. This has been absolutely catastrophic. If you haven't seen the videos, you know, I don't even know if you want to, because it's tough to watch. But I would trade that in a heartbeat for that beer. And then when I see you, if I'm ever in Daytona, if I'm ever wherever, I'll buy you that beer. All right. So please, if you can, hop on over there. Let's help out. This is our people, man. We got to help them out. You would want the same if you were in the spot. So let's get over there. Mountainprojects.org. Hit flood support to help out today. And thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. All right. Back on the FCS college football experience. Edmart's going with these brown bears, these magical brown bears. Well, you know, that's fine. At 7, to me, if you can get under 7, then it becomes intriguing. But like, you're giving me a touchdown, I'll take my chances with Bryant. Moving along, Central Connecticut State and Yale. This is another one where it's jumped big time. So I had this at 15.5 from my reliable sources. I'm now seeing this right now at 21.5. So the Yale Bowl, one of the best stadiums in all of college football, including the FBS. They should play big time playoff games here, if you ask me. And I'm glad this is the first matchup. Central Connecticut State, you know, and Yale both being in Connecticut, they should play more often. College football, you know, it's a regional sport. So glad to see this one on the schedule. I'm seeing 21.5 right now. You have to take Central Connecticut State. Yale has lost a ton of pieces. And you look at Central Connecticut State, they almost knocked off UMass the last time we saw them on the field. They were very close to winning that game. I will lock this up at 21.5. You have to take it. 15.5, I would lock it up. 21.5, and you know, if you could find a money line on this, it would not be crazy to throw out just a little bit on the money line there with the real Blue Devils of Central Connecticut State, who once again, and if you need a deeper dive on this, if you're wondering why Dundee, well, you know, they're quarterback by Brady Olson, the former UMass quarterback. He's a good quarterback, especially for the FCS ranks. He was in the FBS. He was recruited by a bunch of different teams in the FBS. So getting him and getting Michael Plaskett, I think it is, the wideout, those guys are pretty good. So I think they can really strike some fear in the Bulldogs there. And 21.5, jump on over there on these Blue Devils. Let's go. Moving along. Next up, Princeton, Columbia in Manhattan, in a series that goes back to 1874. Holy shit. That's like the last bullet fired in the Civil War was 3 days before this series started. 1874. Princeton's laying 3.5. And as you see on the thing, it's Columbia -1, but the book I'm looking at this second says Princeton's laying 3.5, because I was in position to load up on these Princeton Tigers. Now, I'll be honest, you can find a flat 1 out there at a book right now. I lean Princeton. Columbia is what? They lost that tough game to Georgetown. I know Princeton's culture is just there. You know what I mean? Where I know they're on the road, but I just kind of trust them. I know Cole Freeman's a solid quarterback for Columbia. I know that Columbia, you know, I think they're up for it being Columbia with Freeman and Canty at the wide receiver spots, but I just think I trust the culture of Princeton. Blaine Hippa there at the quarterback spot, taking over for Stenstrom a year ago, has played well. Now they did get, you know, beat down by Lehigh, and I'm kind of bullish on Lehigh this year. So, yeah. Chris Anderson in the chat saying, what happened to the GCG? What is that? Oh, Gulf Coast Guru. Shout out to Mike Rose. Hell of a good guy. Well, he had some personal issues come up, man, and he could not commit to the show. He had some issues with family, and you know, I told him the door's always open to come back, but I know he has a bunch of shit on his plate right now. So, unfortunately, the Gulf Coast guru, Mike Rose, my guy, is I don't know that he'll be back with us, but he's a friend, so the door will always be open in some capacity. So yeah, that's what happened there. Appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, but I like Princeton here. I'm going to ride with Princeton. I'm going to trust the culture there. Moving along. This line's actually accurate. Morehead State Butler in Indianapolis. How about these Butler Bulldogs, man? I mean, they're a fun team to watch this year. You haven't checked them out. They're 4-0, and I think they've been one of the more excited. Both quarterbacks, Regan Andrew and who's the other guy? Nick Howard, I think it is. Those guys have been playing really well. They've spread the ball out. Like now they've been up big in some of these games, and maybe that's the reason why. But they've been impressive to watch. They're laying 17.5 against Morehead State. I tend to just think, why? This is on Flow Sports, by the way, so hopefully you have that subscription. Butler's coming off like a 60 point win against Virginia Lynchburg. I know they're a D3 school, but there might as well be FCS with how many FCS teams they play. And prior to that, though, I mean, they won 53-0 the game before that against Hanover. They're on just a unbelievable streak right now of kicking ass. I know that's not the greatest competition. So if you want to look at similar competition, you go back to the Murray State game. Murray State's in the Valley, though. They're using scholarships, much more than the ranks of a Pioneer League team. So they won 19-17. I tend to just say lay the points. I'm not going to bet this game. I'm just curious to see, now that we have conference play upon us, how this works out for them. This series goes back to 1963. All right, moving along. St. Francis heading to Dover, Delaware to take on Delaware State. St. Francis is laying 3. And this is one where obviously you saw St. Francis get their 1-3, and their one win is against a MAC school in Kent State and Kenny Burns there. Now, to be fair, the 1-3, their losses are to Dayton week 1. Dayton proved to look all right so far this year. The Flyers, shout out to the Flyers. Central Connecticut State by 7, and then Eastern Michigan, another MAC school. So I don't think it's that bad. I think you lay the points here against Delaware State. I might bet this, but I don't know. Delaware State looked pretty good against Campbell last week, lost by 3, 44-41. So right now it's like a fringe lock, but I would lean St. Francis there in Dover. So moving along. Marist, the Red Foxes. Whew. This is one where I think you sit there and say, how bad is it? How bad is the scenario for Mike Willis there, former Princeton assistant there? Let's just say it's been a tough year 1 taking over for longtime head coach Jim Parady. After 31 seasons as the head coach of Marist. They look like the worst team. Let's be honest. They look like the worst team out there right now. So Davidson laying 14, and hopefully you caught the Davidson game on Sunday, even though it wasn't on television. But if you're in the Charlotte area, because they put it on Presbyterian, and I have no reason to think they wouldn't just put it on Marist with the way Marist has been playing lately. So I guess lay it. I mean, Marist has just looked so bad. They lost 47-14 to Dayton last week. I think you gotta lay it, but I'm paranoid on laying it here at the new stadium there, Jerry Richardson Stadium there, Davidson. I'm laying it, but no lock here. I wouldn't touch this game, at all. So let's continue to move along here. Next up, we got Wagner and Stonehill. Stonehill laying 6.5. This one, Wagner's 2-3, but when you look at, they've played, I think Wagner is the play here is my point. Like they've played Florida Atlantic. Their schedule to me has been more challenging. They beat Delaware State 30-7, but they played Florida Atlantic. They lost to Bernard Clark and Robert Morris by 7. took on a tough Lehigh team. I think Wagner plus the points is the play. No lock though, because Stonehill sitting at 1-2, and coming off the bye week, getting 2 weeks to focus for the Seahawks there. I just tend to think we lean Wagner. If it could be talked into a fringe lock here with the points. I just think the fact that you got 2 weeks to prep. Wagner though won by 11 last year too. That's another thing to factor. I think they're a better football team than Stonehill, like on a roster standpoint. So I would lean Seahawks there by a little bit. Moving along. Holy Cross, fucking Holy Cross. My accent's getting worse and worse as the more time I do it. I need a drink. By the way, New Hampshire up 7-0 on Harvard, and back with the ball as well. So Harvard looking like they're having some struggles out the gate there at home. Fucking Holy Cross is taking on Colgate. Holy Cross, and look, it says 4.5 on the screen. I'm now seeing Holy Cross laying 6.5, so they're 6.5 point favorite. This was a 47-7 game a season ago, but Matthew Sluka, he's obviously the talk of college football over the past 2 weeks. Gone. Bob Chesney gone. Their just a slew of their best players gone to either graduation, and Dan Curran comes in, and things just haven't gone their way. Both teams at 1-4. Colgate, I thought played pretty well against Penn a week ago. I think I'll take Colgate and the points there at home there at Hamilton. But no wager here either. And this series goes back to 1917, folks. Get on over there. What are you doing if you're in the area? Go out to Andy Kerr Stadium and check out the Raiders. All right, let's go. Shout out to the chat. Jong in there. Shout out to Jong. He loves fading Fordham. Yeah, what the fuck happened to Fordham? We'll get to them in a little bit there. Moving along. Albany, the Great Danes are heading to Cornell, Ithaca, New York there. Albany, I'm seeing as the 2.5 point favorite, by the way. So I thought it'd be Cornell. Albany is the 2.5 point favorite. And believe it or not, I'm going to lock up Albany minus 2.5 because I think they're better than Cornell. I think they're going to get it done. Give me these Great Danes. I will say Cornell, they're better than what I thought they would be. Very impressive performance against Yale a week ago. But I think they come crashing back down here as the Great Danes go on the road and take care of business. Buffalo State taking on Mercyhurst. We don't have a line on this one, man. Just enjoy this one. This is a game that goes back to 1981. Just fun. Buffalo, Lake Erie, Pennsylvania, doing battle. What's not to like? And if you're real swift, that's on the NEC Front Row app, folks. Moving along. Delaware, the Blueheads. This game's actually awesome. One of the best games of the on FCS Saturday. Delaware's laying 9.5 at Monmouth, West Long Branch, New Jersey. I kind of buy into what Monmouth is doing right now. And by the way, I'm seeing this right now at 3 points. These lines are just fucking insane. I still look. I'm intrigued by this one. Give me Monmouth to get them done. To get it done against Delaware. I want to see this one. Here. This could be a huge win for Monmouth there at home in a series that goes back to 07. So. Yeah, I mean, there's lines all over the place. Anyway, continuing, before we get to the next game, I want to tell you that the FCS College Football Experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Pick'em has one of the best and biggest menus for all sports. They got NFL, college football, CFL, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and much, much more. And their lobby is jam-packed with profit boost. You can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries as well. So what are you doing? So sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code TCE SGPN. All right, and Austin's even got Delaware as a +1.5. See, this all over the place right there. If you like Delaware, I do think like this is just an intriguing game, but I worry about. Let's talk about this for a second. Since Delaware is not eligible for the FCS playoffs, does that give Monmouth an edge where it could be a huge win for them because they are playing for their postseason, they are playing for a CAA championship, and is Delaware kind of loading up for next season? I always wonder what that means. And am I putting too much into it? I'm not sure, but I don't know. Give me Monmouth there. No wager though. Just excited to see that one. This is one I'm probably gonna have to watch on Sunday. The Lincoln Lions taking on Morgan State in a series that goes back to 1930. Unfortunately, no line here, but sit back and enjoy this one on ESPN Plus. And that's Lincoln, PA, not Lincoln, California, not the Oaklanders that have been road warriors for some time there. This game, John was just referring to this. Lafayette, Fordham. Lafayette's laying 15.5 in the Bronx in the series that goes back to 1903. Fordham's horrible. Lafayette's been disappointing, but they're still good. Let's do it. Let's lay the 15.5 with the Leopards against this Fordham team that looks like they've quit. Austin asking, did Delaware redshirt a lot? I don't think as many as Sam Houston, but I know they've redshirted some. The fucking Long Island Sharks are heading to Pittsburgh to take on the bet detective CJ Sullivan, the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, his Duquesne Dukes. And the fucking Sharks are 0-5. They're 0-5, but they've covered every one of their fucking games against FCS competition. Every single one the Sharks have covered. And you're telling me this little Duquesne Duke squad, just because they beat the Penguins, Youngstown State, are going to take down my Sharks? I got news for you. You're wrong. The Sharks are going to be there. At the end, I think they're live on the money line at the fucking Art Rooney, his stadium, his own field in Pittsburgh. The Sharks, have you caught this Sharks team? I'm telling you, they're the best 0-5 team. They're the best. It reminds me of my my sister's eggplant palm. All right. Honestly, this team, the fucking Sharks, with Luca Stanzani at the quarterback spot. Of course, they got a Stanzani. That's why they're covering every fucking game. They got him. They got Michael. I'm in love at the wide receiver spot. Mwah. All right. He's a beast. All right. They're covering the 7.5. They might be live on the money. I take them on the money line. I take them on the fucking money line right now. If you can, hop on over there at the Art Rooney Athletic Field. And I'll be honest, all the women, after taking on the Sharks, I've seen this stadium. You can see the fucking dorms from the field, and the Sharks are gonna swim up in that pussy in Duquesne. I'll tell you that right now. Right now, get on over there. Fins up, baby. Come on, Hasty. Let's take these fucking Sharks plus 7.5. Sprinkle the money line. I'll see you at Peter Luger's later in the night tomorrow night. Let's go. All right. Ivy League action. Hanover, New Hampshire. Penn and fucking Dartmouth. Dartmouth is laying 1. Fucking Dartmouth laying 1. Don't insult me. I'm actually seeing 2.5 as the live line now, actually. Dartmouth. And why I find this to be very interesting with fucking Dartmouth is Penn was the preseason favorites to win the Ivy. They were the preseason favorites to win the Ivy. But fucking Dartmouth is honoring legendary coach Buddy Tevens, who recently passed away after a terrible accident there in Florida. Rest in peace to Coach Tevens and his love and condolences to his family. They're going to be honoring him there. And we have a tragic magic situation there. I'm intrigued, and obviously Dartmouth is 2-0 now. Maybe that factors into it too. But Penn, you know, they win. They beat Colgate by 10. They played Delaware extremely tough. I think Penn's a better team than Dartmouth, if I'm being honest. I know they're honoring coach, and maybe that gets them to play beyond what we think, but I lean Quakers on the road there in Hanover to get this thing done. And I hate to tell you this, I hate to go against Buddy. I'm gonna lock it up. Give me the Quakers to get it done. King Wells saying fucking Dartmouth is a lock. Look, I hate the fade tragic magic. This is, and you should know this from the start. Fading tragic magic is a horrible, horrible thing. And I'm doing it right here. It barely hits, I feel like. It barely ever hits. But I feel like in the FCS, your percentages are higher than in like the NFL or something. So I think Penn's good. I think Penn's a good football team. I still think that the way they played Delaware convinces me that I think they're still the team to beat in the Ivy. So that's the logic there. Norfolk State heading over to fucking Sacred Heart in Fairfield, Connecticut there. Fucking Sacred Heart, catching 4.5. This is one where, I mean, does anyone really know what Sacred Heart is this year? They've been all over the place. I tend to think, what the hell happened with Norfolk State? I feel like they were better before Otto Kuhns came back. I wonder what the weather will be like up there at Campus Field, but I'll lean Sacred Heart here in the points. You're at home. At home. Don't know what to make of the inconsistency with Sacred Heart, but at the same time, do I think they're more talented? Do I think they're playing better football right now than Norfolk State? I do. So they're at home, playing better. Let's go. Give me Sacred Heart. Give me fucking Sacred Heart to get it done. In a series that goes back to 96. Drake, Valpo. Drake's laying 14.5. Lay it. Valpo's ass. Lay it. I feel decent about this one. Gardner Webb, them running Bulldogs. Heading up to UT. How about UT Martin getting the first ever FBS win? As far as I can recall, at least. Gardner Webb's catching 22.5. This is too many points for me. I know Gardner Webb's like bringing in a lot of different faces, and we're 1-4. But and actually, fuck, I see this line. Damn, it's 10. This is what I mean. These lines are fucking insane. I'm seeing 10.5 right now. No, at 10.5, I back away. Give me UT Martin. Give me UT Martin at 10.5. Always check. Indiana State, Youngstown State. I had Youngstown State -20. I'm seeing Youngstown State -12.5 right now. I'll take Youngstown State. Indiana State's fucking horrible. They just lost to Houston Christian. Youngstown State, I know they've been a complete mess this year, but I just still think they're better. No one goes into the ice house and gets a dub. So I will lay the points with the Penguins there. Moving along. Tennessee State, Lindenwood. This is another one I'm seeing -5.5. I'm seeing -5.5 right now, not 7. How about Lindenwood? I think there have been a star. I mean, first off, Eddie George and Tennessee State, I think continuing to get better. But Lindenwood with Jed Stugart there at the head coaching spot, they've been kind of better than I thought they were going to be. Kind of buy it in to what these Lions are doing over there in St. Charles, right? St. Charles, Missouri. They're 2-3, but don't be fooled. Big time win against EIU. Nate Glantz playing good ball at the quarterback spot. The Jeff Codwell at the wide receiver spot having a big season so far. I will lay the points. Intrigued about this one. No lock though, because I do think Tennessee State's been improved. So let's just lay it and watch the game. Enjoy watching the game. North Carolina A&T and Richmond. Richmond is. Did I get this line? Has the line moved? It's moved 0.5 point. I'm seeing Richmond -22.5. A&T looks fucking horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's amazing what has happened to this program within 10 years. By the way, Harvard just scored a touchdown to cut it to 10-7. I'll lay it. I don't want any piece of this A&T program right now. This is almost lock-worthy just because of how bad they've played lately. If you can tease FCS, this is when you tease down. Furman and the Citadel. This is one I'm currently seeing Furman minus 14.5, not 9.5. So money has came in on Furman. And shout out to Never Graduate. College hockey is back tonight. We love that as well. That is awesome news as well. And this one, I will take the Citadel. I will take the Citadel here. Now I think Maurice Drayton and Jonathan Bennett, getting Jonathan Bennett from Liberty first off, I think was a sneaky good get. I think they can stay within this number. So I will take the points. Furman's O-line's been fucking horrible this year. Give me the points and the Citadel. Rhode Island and Hampton doing battle. I see Rhode Island -7. Hey, it's actually accurate. This is one you want to talk about. If I talked about the Bryant Bulldogs being the most disappointing team. One of the pleasant surprises of the FCS season has been the Hampton Pirates. Now, sure, they got their ass whooped by William and Mary last week, and that is why we should take Rhode Island, because I think that gap between the top of the CAA and the bottom of the CAA is that drastic. But it is at home. But I just think Rhode Island is just a way more talented football team. Rhode Island's only loss was to Minnesota in the Big Ten. You look at Devin Farrell, the quarterback. He's talented. A lot of the team. I mean, Malik Grant. Remember what he was doing a year ago at Sacred Heart. He was a beast, and I just think it's a good spot for Rhode Island. I will lock up the Rams. Oh wait, I have music for that. Let's go. That's all Flow Sports, by the way. Next up, Austin P, West Georgia. Austin P's ass this year. West Georgia's brand new to the FCS. Something's got to give. Both 1-win teams. University Stadium there in Carlton, Georgia. Give me the points. Give me the points at home. Don't love the play though. Too many points though for two teams that look like shit so far. Stetson, the Hatters are catching 17.5 at St. Thomas. Nope, I'll lay it, but no wager. St. Thomas got fucked up by a couple teams this year. So and when I say like Stetson's 2-2, like the line is a little shocking to me, but I'll take St. Thomas. It's telling me something. The line's telling me something because I would set this thing a little closer. It'd be like 7 if I was setting this thing. 7.5 maybe. Shout out to LFG. Go Sun Devils. And if anyone's in the Tempe area, I will be at the Kansas Arizona State game tomorrow. We'll be tailgating some, hitting the bar before the game, hitting the casino, the Talking Stick after. So hit us up. Continuing on this journey. Next up, we got Wofford, Western Carolina. There's no fans, and this is the question I think you got to ask yourself. What does this mean from a handicapping point of view? This is a tricky one now. I was surprised at the line, to tell you the truth. And I actually think I saw a 14 out there too. But this is one where I don't know what to make of it with the fact there's no fans because of that disaster. If anything, I think give me the points with Sean Watson's Terriers there, but I don't know. Stay away. I think like Tomcat says, stay away. Next up, going to Tennessee Tech. How about the Golden Eagles there in Cookeville, Tennessee? Shout out to GBO Farms. They're looking better than they have of late, and same with South Carolina State. No life without Buddy Pugh has been all right. Tennessee Tech's laying 4.5. I'm gonna lay the 4.5. And I'm gonna lock it up because I'm buying into the Golden Eagles. Lock it up. Tennessee Tech minus the points. Let's go. Guess what? They say they're a D3 team, but we've been doing this 6 weeks now, and they've played, I think, 5 of the 6 weeks. The Dragons of Virginia Lynchburg, they'll huff and they'll puff, and they'll get blown out in every fucking FCS game they play. This game is on YouTube, not YouTube TV, YouTube, against Chris Dishman and Texas State. And man, I don't know what to deduce. There's no line on this one, but just I don't know. Maybe you just want to check out a free game on YouTube. Anyway, Weber State, Montana. This has been a good series over the years, and Montana's laying 8. Actually, no, it's at 14 now. That one doesn't surprise me. Montana money always comes in. They bet the fuck out of their teams. Damn, New Hampshire just converts a bomb on Harvard. This is one at 14. I'll take the points at Weber. What was it? I feel like the last time they played at Washington Grizzly, Weber State probably should have won the game if they could punt the ball. I think there was like 3 safeties on punts 2 years ago. I'll take the points. I know Weber's not nearly as good as years past, but still 14's a lot. 14's a lot. No luck. VMI, Samford. Samford lay at 19. Yeesh. I was off on VMI this year. I thought they'd be better. Lay it. This game's on ESPN Plus, by the way. South Dakota, Murray State. Murray State. Life in the Missouri Valley. Welcome to it. By the way, this line's at 24.5. It's down at 29.5. Did money come in on Murray State? Unbelievable. I'll lay it though. South Dakota looks good. Fuck. Why would you be encouraged to take Murray State here? What have they shown to make you think that they deserve? I don't know. I just feel like you got to take the Coyotes here. Give me South Dakota there. Arkansas Pine Bluff, Alcorn State. Braves are laying 14. Lay it. Arkansas State looks horrible. I'm sorry. Arkansas Pine Bluff looks horrible. Alcorn State looks. I mean, they look better. They don't look great. Life after Fred McNair is not hasn't been. They haven't looked as good as previously, but you kind of expect that with anybody with a brand new head coach. You look at what Alcorn State's doing. Xavier Vaughn, their quarterback there, is pretty good. I think he can pose some problems. Let's be honest. Pine Bluff got obliterated by the portal this offseason. A couple of their best guys now at Northern Illinois. You saw Northern Illinois knock off Notre Dame. So give me the Braves on the warpath there in Lorman. SEMO is heading to Charleston, Illinois to take on Eastern Illinois. SEMO's been one of the best stories. And by the way, this is now 8.5 I'm seeing. Eastern Illinois is 1-4. This is 7 point. SEMO won by 7 a year ago, but I think that EIU team was a lot better a year ago with what's his name, the Georgetown transfer at the QB spot. I do think SEMO, especially now that it's at 8.5, anything under 10, let's go. Give me SEMO. If you haven't caught the SEMO team, their one loss is to an FBS, and they probably should have won that game in Las Cruces against New Mexico State. Paxton DeLaurent is a good quarterback. Dorian Anderson, a wideout that I think could be an FBS wideout. He's that good. So I will lay the points there against EIU. Lock it up. Florida A&M, Alabama State. The series goes back to 1909. I was surprised to see Alabama State as a 1-point favorite. Montgomery, Alabama. They do have a nice stadium there. What is Vegas trying to tell me here? I'm still going Florida A&M. I think they're more talented. But I was surprised at the line. Both teams are 2-2, so maybe that would be the problem. Or that's how they deduced this line. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, give me a FAMU there. New Hampshire up 10-7 on Harvard inside the 20 right now. Let's get to some of the better games of the day. North Dakota State. This series goes back to 1894. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh boy. I mean, this is college football right here. This is why you watch, right? Unfortunately, it's at that filthy dome. It was better when it was outside, obviously. Cam Miller has been very good this year. And I think one of the better stories, North Dakota State's a little bit better than I thought they would be. I know that sounds crazy because they're always like top 5. They're a little bit better than I thought they would be. And even more so, North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks with Bubba Schwiegert there, they're way better than I thought they would be. Their whole O-line had left in the portal, so I was a skeptic coming into the season with what they could do. They lost their starting quarterback to Michigan State, and nope. The next guy up, all right, Simon Romfro has looked the part at the quarterback spot. They still have legendary wideout there, Bo Belquist, who's been there, I feel like, forever, being an X factor. The problem is that when they take on these Bison, historically, obviously the Bison have got the best of them. Well, over the past since they've been in the FCS, but last year North Dakota got them 49-24. So I think it's a revenge game. I'm locking up North Dakota State minus 13. Let's go. Revenge game. You're not going to go into Fargo now and get the best of them. All right. I know Tomcat's saying he likes the points. So, yeah, I mean, rivalry game. Normally I agree, but I just think the way they beat them down last year. Let's continue these rivalry games. We got the rail rivalry right here. Chattanooga, East Tennessee State, Johnson City, Tennessee. Chattanooga's laying 1.5. I'm seeing right now, by the way. Wrong team. Now this is interesting because you look at Chattanooga, you say 1-3. They're not any good. But then you say, wait. They played the Tennessee Volunteers week 1. Then they played Georgia State in the FBS week 2, and they almost beat Georgia State. They were up, they lost by 3. And then they lost to Mercer, who's undefeated, by 7 before stomping on Portland State 45-30 last week. Team Whooping Cough taking a whooping. However, I kind of buy into East Tennessee State. You look at their losses. Their losses are what? North Dakota State in that game they should have won, and then App State at Kid Brewer. This is an awesome game. This is a fantastic game. This one is one I will be watching on Sunday, but I'm locking up ETSU. I think they're the better team, but by a little bit. I'm getting a point or two. Give me ETSU. Moving along, Villanova, Stony Brook. This is in Stony Brook, New York. This is not in Missouri. Fuck up by me. Nova is laying 13.5. Flow Sports. Stony Brook's 4-1, but I'm not buying this shit. Lay it with Villanova. All right, lay it with Villanova. Potential lock right there. Northern Colorado, Montana State. Montana State's laying 32.5. I'm actually seeing this thing at 38 right now. 38 fucking points. Don't bet this. Give me the points though. Right, this is a in conference game. You don't want to blow them out too much. All right, give me the points, folks. What to tell you that the FCS college football experience is brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, props, all that good stuff. You can copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard. Sit back and just hit copy, and maybe you're going to be making some good cash. Or you can build your own model, select what you like, and they'll build around that. Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop, and also has a slew of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insight. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business, BetUS. Yes, BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. Sign up, and when you do, you sign up and deposit $100, you have a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. How about that? I mean, who doesn't want that? Use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus in your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know that we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. All right, we are back. New Hampshire 13, Harvard 7, ESPN Plus. Get on over. There's a slew of other FBS games on as well. Moving along. And folks, also, if you are watching the Sports Grid, I will be on in about 30 minutes. So we gotta hurry up here. But how about this letdown spot? I know we had a Portland State fan in the chat earlier. UC Davis with a gigantic win, the biggest win in Tim Plow's short tenure there as a head coach last week, taking down the Idaho Vandals, who would frankly look like the best team maybe in the FCS prior to last week. The Aggies hit the road to Hillsboro, Oregon, to take on June Jones and Neil Lomax's alma mater, Portland State, the Vikings. This line is down now. It's down to 8.5, and UC Davis laying 8.5. Some money coming in on the Portland State Vikings. I don't understand it. Give me Davis. Give me Davis. I know it's a letdown spot, but I don't know. I don't trust Portland State. I know we have a Viking fan in here, but this team's been all over the place this year. Like, I thought this team was a lot more talented on paper. They're 0-4. I know this is their first home game because of the whooping cough situation, but I just thought they would look better when I watched them. I thought from a roster standpoint, this is their most talented roster in years, and they just didn't look the part to me. They got their ass whooped. I locked up Chattanooga last week, got it done there. So yeah. Yeah, and I know Vandals were down to their third QB, but still, I mean, the win is still a good win. It's still the biggest win in the Plow era. NC Central, Campbell, Central laying 6. A little North Carolina on North Carolina action. It's not to like. This is in Bowie's Creek, so I'm actually gonna take the Camels plus the 6. I think they could win this game. I think they're actually live on the money line as well. So, let's go. Give me these Campbell Camels. Moving a whooping cough is gonna fuck them all year. Shit is serious. Yeah, I mean, how the fuck does that? I mean, I didn't even know that was still doing it. You know what I mean? Western Illinois, Charleston Southern. This is not in Villanova, Pennsylvania. I fucked up again. This is in Charleston, South Carolina. Buccaneer Field, I believe they call it. This line is Charleston Southern minus 5.5. Lay it and lock it. Western Illinois is horrible. Lock this, bet this line. Whatever you get, I would go up to like 9 or 10. Let's go. All right, moving along. The Presbyterian Blue Hose are heading to San Diego. San Diego's laying 21.5. Well, let me see. Presbyterian they're actually a little bit better this year than I thought they would be. They lost 2 in a row though. And San Diego's actually good. I'm going to lay the point, lay the 21.5. They're telling you right there. Lay it. One of the best games of the day. Central Arkansas. And if you have not caught Central Arkansas, they have just a really good team. I think they could be sleepers. If you're looking for, I don't know if you could find a futures market, but everyone says South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Montana State. If you're looking for another team that could make a serious run, I think deep, I think it's Central Arkansas. And they're heading to Abilene, Texas. Sneaky little spot here. Maverick MacGyver, Abilene Christian should have beaten Texas Tech week 1. This is a great game. But I think I trust the better running team. So I am going to take Central Arkansas minus the 2.5. And by the way, yeah, it's 2.5 still. Okay. This is a line I haven't fucked up. Yeah, I think you lay the 2.5. I wouldn't go much further though. I wouldn't go that much further. I would probably lay it at 3.5 too. But anything after that, I think I would be a little paranoid on hitting there. But you know what? I will bet that game because I want to fucking watch this game. I feel good about having the better. Shunderick Powell is a fucking beast at the running back spot for Central Arkansas. If you haven't caught this team, they have the former Northern Iowa quarterback Will McIlvain there, and then like I said, Shunderick Powell, and also don't sleep on the backup running back Darius Hale. He could play too. They have 2 good. It's thunder and lightning back there for the Bears. But Abilene Christian can fire the ball all over the field as well, so it should be a dandy of a game. Moving forward, South Dakota State heading to that filthy dome up there in Cedar Falls. South Dakota State's laying 22 points. Don't insult me. I'm joking. But what's happened to the Northern Iowa program? I feel like it's stagnant. For a while there, they were fucking really good. 22 is too big of a number, though. It's just too big of a number on the road. Let's be honest. South Dakota State doesn't look as good as they've been. I know a year ago it was 41-6, but that was in Brookings, South Dakota at the Dyke House. I tend to think they could stay within this number. But yeah, Farley has lost his edge. Senior Mark Farley, their longtime head coach of the Panthers there. 22 though? Give me the points. No bet though, just in case they get their ass whooped. Yeah, that's the chat is saying Farley needs to retire. I'll tell you what game I'm excited about. We were just talking about the Idaho quarterback situation. Northern Arizona with a huge win last week against Sac State, and I kind of like what is going on with Northern Arizona now. Going up to Moscow is that's a real thing. But Brian Wright I think has NAU playing the best ball they've played in some time. Give me the points. Give me the points there in Moscow. No lock though. No lock because Idaho looks like they did look the part. They're coming off a loss too, so maybe I'm full of shit. But I just want it to be a good game. All right. Moving along. Let's go to the likes of Alabama A&M, Jackson State. Jackson State laying 17. Lay it at the Vet. Come on, the series goes back to 1956. I've just been impressed with what TC Taylor's doing with Jackson State. Dominating win last week against Chris Dishman of Texas Southern. Alabama A&M, you look at it, they're 2-2, but they just got housed by Austin Peay. Their wins are against Georgetown College, the Tigers, not the Hoyas, and Kentucky State. Those are not FCS teams. So I tend to think Jackson State is going to cover this number here. Let's go. Give me Jackson. That's close to a lock, by the way. Fuck it. Let's bet it. I'm not buying into this. John Stallworth's not walking through that door. Utah Tech's taking on North Alabama. North Alabama laying 10.5. Was a little surprised at the line here, but I'll lay it. Tech looks like the mess this year. Alabama seems to be impressing, or getting better with each given week. So I will lay the 10.5. This is one I'm really excited about. Anytime you get Virginia versus Maryland, it's good for college football. Towson, Maryland. The Tigers are catching 2. They're 1-3, but they're catching just 2 points against 4-1 William & Mary and Mike London. They played a year ago. Towson won by 10. It's a bit of a revenge spot for the Tribe, but. And by the way, Hava just got the ball down to the 1, about to take the lead on New Hampshire. You don't just walk into the Giant United Stadium and get that dub. Honestly, though, I think William & Mary is better. I will lay the 2, even though it seems trappy. It stinks. Yeah. Hasty's in there. This is the one, right? Do we fuck around and take Towson then? I like Towson's team. When I watched that game against Cincinnati, I was like, this team's pretty good. They just haven't turned that corner yet, though. This is a game. Carlos Davis, he was a quarterback at UMass last year, but prior to that was at Western Carolina, and he was really good. So I do think he can give them problems. Everyone seems to be okay. Chat likes Towson. Should we bet Towson? Should I bet Towson? Johnny United Stadium. Stick around. Tomorrow morning I might tell you I'm betting these Tigers. The line does scream Towson. I do agree there. Let's move on though. Prairie View, Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word's laying 34.5. Good Lord. It's too many points. Give me Prairie View. Don't bet this. This is an awesome game here. Illinois State, Southern Illinois. If you haven't, these games are chippy. They're chippy. They're fun. Last season, Southern Illinois won 19-14. The Salukis have been depleted with injuries this year. Well, actually, kind of both teams have had some injury issues. Illinois State got their ass whooped by North Dakota State last week. I was completely wrong. I thought that game would be a little closer. This game's fantastic. This is one I will be watching on Sunday. And I do think Illinois State, I don't know. It's in Carbondale. That crowd gets... I'm still taking the points. Rivalry game, you got to take the points. So let's go. Yeah. Moving along. I got to hurry the fuck up here. Nichols. Southern's laying. I'm sorry. Nichols laying 23 with Colin Guggenheim there at the running back spot. I actually think you lay it because Nichols looks pretty damn good this year. Moving along. McNeese laying 14.5 at Houston Christian. Houston Christian, huge win last week at Indiana State. The fuck am I missing here, though? I will lock up McNeese minus 14.5. Get out of here. They got the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick. Clifton McDowell and McNeese are going to put it on Houston Christian. Let's go. Moving along. Texas A&M Commerce, Southeast Louisiana. Sila's laying 10.5. This is an old school game. Goes back to 1957. I tend to think we take the points here. Rivalry, kind of a rivalry spot. So, give me Commerce plus the 10.5. Idaho State, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, Paul Wolf and Cal Poly catching 5.5 at home. They got that John Madden money. However, I'm on Idaho State. I think Cody Hawkins and them will get it done. I think they're the better football team this year, so I will lay the 5.5 with the Bengals there. This is an interesting one because I was surprised to see Southern Utah. They're favored by 6. Cedar City, Utah. There as Tarleton State comes in. Tarleton State, everyone's talking about they could be the next FCS team to jump to the FBS. I think Southern Utah's in a good spot to beat them. I question the team's toughness, like between the on the line of scrimmage. Tarleton State kind of plays pussy ball. They're efficient from a passing point of view, but I feel like the line is telling you. I was surprised. I thought this would be more around a pick. Give me Southern Utah minus 6. Moving along, and this is the final game on the slate, and this is an old school rivalry game. Back to 100 years old this year. Turning 100 years old. The Chief, what do they call this again? The Chief Cadeau or something? Chief Cadeau trophy or some shit. Northwestern State's fucking awful. But it's a rivalry game. I will take the points against Stephen F. Austin. Let's go. Give me the points. Folks, that's our show. I want to do this show early on Friday mornings. I just need these lines to be a little more legit. I mean, I get the lines, but I'm saying it's tricky because when they come out with, I'm going to try to do this even on Thursday nights. I've already contacted them, and last year they gave me the numbers, but just expect radical movement. All right. So please, if you can, though, youtube.com/the college experience. Some of them are accurate. Some of them aren't. I mean, once the money starts coming in, these things jump. Yeah, but subscribe. We'll have a reaction show Monday. I can't wait for that. FCS college football experience, youtube.com/the college experience. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back later tonight talking SEC college basketball and the college basketball experience. We're doing our conference preview there. And if you're real swift, jump over to Sports Grid right now because I am going to be on there talking about the Saturday lineup in the FBS college football. So do that. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The college football experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Till next time, folks, this is the FCS college football experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.